Father Vogel, we continue our series on St. John Baptiste de La Salle's Meditations in Time of Retreat for Teachers. We are in the fourth meditation about cooperating with Jesus Christ in his mission to lead all souls to him. And we are now at the third point of this meditation. St. John says, "In carrying out your service to children, you will not fulfill your ministry adequately if you resemble Jesus Christ only in his guidance and conversion of souls. You must also enter into his purposes and goals. He came on earth, as he said, only that people might have life and have it to the full. This is why he said in another place that his words are spirit and life. By this he meant that his words procure the true life, which is the life of the soul, for those who hear them, and those who with gladness over what they have heard act on them with love." So he is telling us that we have to also have the same goal as Jesus. I say this is one of two things in this part that he says we must have or it could ruin our ministry as teachers after him. So we want to ensure that we have that Jesus' goal as our own. So in the next part he says, "This must be your goal, that when you instruct your disciples, that they live a Christian life, and that your words become spirit and life for them. Your words will accomplish this because, 1, they will be produced by the Spirit of God living in you, and 2, they will procure the Christian spirit for your disciples." So, Jesus says, "My words are spirit and life." So, we want them to receive the Holy Spirit himself in what is taught to them. God himself comes to dwell within them. He says they will be produced, they will grow because of the Holy Spirit working in you. We've talked about this previously, that the Holy Spirit is the one who is going to ensure that the work occur. He says then, 2, they will procure the Christian spirit of your disciples. So, being able to give them the Spirit flowing through you, then they themselves will be able to have the Spirit dwelling within them. He then says, "Guard against any human attitude toward your disciples. Do not take pride in what you are doing. These two things are capable of spoiling all the good there is in the performance of your duties. What have you in this regard that has not been given to you? If it has been given to you, why are you boasting as if you had it on your own?" So, this is the second thing. He says, guard against pride. Guard against being proud, well, look at me, how awesome of a teacher. All that I am and do is all mine. Sometimes that even leads us to not really care for a student who maybe isn't getting what we're teaching them, because out of pride, we assume that we're teaching it in exactly the way that they should be learning. And if they can't understand it, it must be all their problem. Instead of really striving to understand, well, how is it that I can change the way that I teach? How can I explain this in a slightly different way that this child may understand what it is that I'm teaching? That is a kind of humility. So he says these are the two things. If we're doing a purpose or a goal that is our own, if we have our own goal as teacher, maybe advancement of our own career, you might be able to see that maybe especially in higher education and in colleges and universities, where the goal of the professor isn't so much the students' good as their own good. So we want our goal to be that of Christ, developing the Holy Spirit within them. And we also want to teach with humility rather than being prideful, because all that we're able to do ultimately comes from God. He says, "Keep then the goals of your work as completely pure as those of Jesus Christ. By this means you will draw his blessings and graces upon you and all your labors." God bless.